Oh, don't be that way. This is 2005? I don't know when this came out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of Madoka Magica. I mean, we only really watched the first episode so far, and I'm still kind of really trying to figure out what's going on. Like, I took screenshots of the math that was on the board, and then I realized I'm still fucking stupid. Because, I mean, I couldn't figure out the math. I literally took it to an AI, trying to figure out what was going on that board. Behind the scenes here, I did really bad in late algebra. I mean, not even late algebra. Like, I had a hard time with variables. So, all the math I've done in the real world doesn't have anything to do with anything that I failed high school math for. So, yeah, when I say I'm an idiot, I really mean it. I am an idiot. I was good for a while, and then I was not good at all. Anyway, let's see. We have a board. And of course, when it comes to like episode 1 boards, I don't have a changelog for it because obviously nothing has changed. But all I really have here is what you can see, and of course there will be a link to a separate board in the description of the video wherever this gets posted, so that you can see this in your own time and not beholden to what imagery you see here. We have Madoka's family, obviously, Mommy, whatever you call her. The girl at the end that saves her, technically, I guess, from Akemi, or the witch. Kubi, the friend group, the teacher, the one student who gets called out about how eggs should be made. I think I got more about specifically why I've attached red lines to Akemi in my notes. Otherwise, I guess there's not really much I can go over here because I didn't really note a lot of whys that I put people in specific connections. I'm thinking you're probably going to have to call me out in the comments if there's a question about one of these, and I can defend myself there. Apropos of this being a one-sided medium, namely I talk at screen, there's not much I can defend here, not knowing what needs to be defended. That said, though, I do have notes. I'm still assuming that the dream was a vision of the future. It seems fairly obviously imprinted that way with all the talk about having the power to overcome fate and changing the ending. Sorry, I gave this whole spiel earlier. Maybe I'm going to have to say this a couple of times during the day so everybody watching these series knows where I'm at. In case I just start making these blatant errors all over the place. I have just recently started taking my chemo medications. Some of it has effects on blood pressure, cognition, etc. So I really felt like I felt that when I was taking my notes, and apparently my notes are littered with typos and just wrong statements. And normally I would just say, hey, I'm an idiot and I make mistakes, but since I'm reading them verbatim and just now encountering the mistakes of my past self, I'm acknowledging that now, so you who might be watching 3 or 4 episodes in the future knows that this is where this started. So anyway, if I had to guess, it's that animal critter giving her these visions of a future that's come to pass in order to give her a chance to change it. I think I made the comparison to Mortal Kombat during the reaction, where Raiden fails to protect Earthrealm at the start of a game. I'm saying a game because I think it was Mortal Kombat 1, but I don't play these games. I only watched their storyline. So, not going to fall into that argument. Where he breaks a time seal and starts the series all over again to give everyone a second chance. In this case, the critter tells her to make a contract with it, then appears in the past, asking her to do the same. The opening lyrics even say, "How long will it be before I see that lost future again?" In fact, it might be possible that this is a time loop anime, which is why I said before that the fact that I took my notes on link click before I started watching Madoka Magica may have influenced my opinion on what might and might not be a time travel centric anime. So, I'll walk upon this earth and pierce this shadowy veil of unease as many times as necessary, indicating towards a future that's trying to be avoided but keeps happening. The clock that ticked away now tells of the beginning, the whole going back to the beginning element of if this is a time loop anime. My heart started racing once again to paint the future, fighting against fate to achieve the future that you desire. Even if I get stuck in a maze, the beautiful blue sky will always be waiting for me, going through the same time loop again and again to once again achieve that future that you desire. Granted, I could be stretching here. Ultimately, I have no idea what the show is really about, and this is just the first episode, and these notes are literally just about the intro and the opening, but so far, I think they fit. No harm in guessing wrong about episode 1. I guess Madoka's mom is a stockbroker. In the bathroom scene, there was a stock ticker in the upper right-hand wall. At least that's what I think it was. It also seemed to be tracking different currencies. Also, insane number of mirrors in that bathroom. Although some of them might have just been, what do you call, metaphorical? I don't know if that's the right word. Because there's scenes where they're showing her from multiple different angles, where that when the pan back happens, those mirrors aren't there. So, I don't really know. I once went to a school that had no walls on the inside. Just a big old building with standing separators forming cubicle-like classrooms. I think that layout was more normal than Madoka's school. Every room laid out in blocks of glass-walled rooms. How could every class not be distracted by every other class in the building? It would never work out in the real world, I don't think anyway. Maybe in Japan. Certainly not anywhere I ever grew up. If I'm right about the time loop thing, and no evidence to say that I am, did the critter give Kemi visions of the loop as well? They clearly recognize Madoka, down to knowing that she's the health officer of the class. I clearly doubt the teacher told her, despite being a good explanation. She clearly already knew the way to go to the nurse's office, as Madoka points out. If so, then what is the why here? What motivation does the critter have in resetting time or seeing them fail or succeed? Also, if Akemi knows the future and is trying to avoid some end of her own, then why be so vague with the warning to Madoka? Never think about becoming someone else or you will lose them all. I mean, the consequence isn't vague, but the thing that will cause it is, especially if you have no concept of magical girls being real. So, it's been a long time since I was in school, and even longer still that I struggled through math. I've gotten by with all the average, everyday math you could use. So, when Akemi is at the board doing the variables and derivatives, I got no clue. I took the image of the board to a translator to see what the Japanese written was, just to let the class know that it was an equals the square root of 2n minus 1. After that, I took the math itself to an AI that confirmed that it was right. Beyond that, this may as well be Klingon, because I can pull nothing from it. Which is a shame, because this certainly feels like a clue, or just proof that Akemi is a genius. I will say the other equations translations seem to have been flummoxed. In the next 14 months, I will show you the story. QB14 has a long-term relationship with you. Obviously, I could read into what that means with my previous theories, but I also just can't tell if the translator is messing up. There is a lot of love in the world, seems like a clear message. At the same time, the line above it is being translated to me as, what is the difference between the Japanese and Japanese? It's never a good idea to make sense of just the things you want to make sense, and ignore the fact that everything around it might be gibberish. That's my concern with what I translated. Can we just note that this entire area looks weird? By which I mean the mall is also totally glass. Except for apparently somewhere just off the music store that looks like a demonic cathedral. If Akemi does know the future, or whatever it may be, and the future that Madoka saw seemed to be one in which her and Akemi were people that cared about one another, at least to the point that Madoka wanted to save her, and Akemi seemed to be calling out something to her, then wouldn't it make sense that if she is trying to kill the critter that is trying to make the pact with Madoka, that the critter might be bad? And sorry, yes, I keep calling it the critter through most of my early notes because they only name it later on in the episode, so I didn't have the name to go with, and I didn't backtrack to correct from calling it a critter. Maybe it's just one of the southernisms in me. As much as the acid trip scenes have text in them, they seem like wingdlings to me, at best. I think they also have numbers in them, lots of butterflies as well, which I guess could be an allusion to the butterfly effect, if the point of the time loop is to change the past and create a new future. Plus, the dandelions with mustaches and mouths, I really have no clue. Best guess is they remind me of the Stephen King story, The Langoliers, creatures that eat the past. Maybe these are like Langoliers for people that create time loops or mess with the past. Yes, I'm going hard on the time thing now, as nothing else I got fits. The witch got away, the new girl says to Akemi as though they have obvious and shared goals, while at the same time protecting QB. See, I got the name now. The critter she was attacking. I get the feeling that they do have a shared enemy, but Akemi is after something Blondie isn't, or vice versa. That now makes them, I guess, frenemies. And my last note here. The ending song is also interesting. A happier sounding song about waving goodbye to someone, lying that you'll see them again, and going off to be lonely. Which I guess if maybe implying how the show is going to end, right? Sorry, I'm off notes now. Implying that maybe we're not going to avoid that future, and maybe the future where some of us die is actually the better future. Because again, I don't know what Kyobi, I don't know what Kyobi is up to. But again, the element that if Akemi knows what's coming and is trying to kill the thing that seems to be the savior, then either we're typing Akemi as the bad guy, and again, I think I have to be wearing Akemi's outfit here, or this is a character I don't know yet. Either Akemi's the bad guy, and it's weird that we're tying Madoka in a friendship relationship, or future friendship relationship, to the bad guy, or Akemi's not the bad guy, and what Madoka thinks is true isn't. Or not what Madoka thinks is true, that Madoka may be being manipulated into a relationship vis-a-vis the critter that isn't true. I guess at this point, I just don't know who to trust. That is the explanation behind some of the red lines. Also, I guess, zooming in here real quick, Mickey sprayed Akemi with a fire extinguisher, right? And not just that, threw the fire extinguisher at her. So, to me, that's a pretty hostile act. Anyway, though, those are my thoughts. That is the board. I guess we got nothing left to do but to go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, back to Mommy transformation scene. I want to call her Tomo from now on, because that's a lot less awkward. Maho Shoujo. I know magical girl when I hear it. I don't think they actually confirmed before. Oh, right there in the background. Not moving, though. Okay. I was about to say, and I apologize once again, I have to talk over the openings because the openings are copyright material. I don't think they covered before if Tomo was a member of the school. They had said previously that she was like trying to identify them. It's like, oh, aren't you such and such from this class? So I guess that definitively identifies them as somebody in the school. I don't know if that does anything though for any theory crafting it might have, because again, my focus is more on the fact that they have also made a pact with QB. And the element that QB, in my interpretation of events, might be the actual villain. Although, granted, I don't know what the witch is. Tomo says the witch is gone, and I don't know if that's a person. Because very much so, I have no idea what the hallucination attack effect thing is coming from. So, if there is an actual witch that is itself a villain, then I have no idea where to come from anymore. Although I guess there could just be a third party, right? That we could be fighting a time loop caused by the critter with another villain in it. Literally, I was just about to say that. Or she can, and she's just not bringing it up. I mean, I guess we'll find out if your rich friend can see it. Guess you got another rich friend now. What does that look like? It looks like something I'm very familiar with, but I can't remember. Those eggs, those very, those very expensive eggs. I'm not super in love. Yeah, sorry. Comments is saying Fabergé eggs. That's exactly what I meant. I'm not super in love with it. Its literal cost of this wish is your soul. it sounds like.
社長もさ、もう無理が利く年じゃねえんだから、そろそろ隠居考えてほしいんだけど、代わりがいないってのがな。いっそ、ママが社長さんになっちゃったら。
I enjoy that the mother is a very real person.
営業部にさえしっかり根回ししとけば、企画部と総務は言いなりだし、そうなると問題は経理のハゲか。あれか、むしろか。ママ、目が怖いよ。魔女って何なの？魔法少女とは違うの？願いから生まれるのが魔法少女だとすれば、魔女は呪いから生まれた。
Oh, that makes sense.
魔法少女が希望を振りまくように、魔女は絶望をまき散らす。しかもその姿は普通の人間には見えないからタッチが悪い。
Which is weird, because you figure if this is a world with options,
そういう災いの種を世界にもたらしているんだ。理由のはっきりしない自殺。
you know, something bad happens to you and you curse somebody. The choice you made versus wishing for the thing not to happen.
そんなヤバい奴らがいるのに、どうして誰も気づかないの？魔女は常に結界の奥に隠れ潜んで、決して人前には姿を現さないからね。さっき君たちが迷い込んだ迷路のような場所がそうだよ。結構危ないところだったのよ。あれに飲み込まれた人間は普通は生きて帰れないから。マミさんは
So is that how we're explaining missing persons cases in this world?
だからあなたたちも慎重に選んだ方がいい。キューベイに選ばれたあなたたちにはどんな願いでも叶えられるチャンスがある。でもそれは死と隣り合わせなの。悩むな。
So, is that the case then? That the dream was actually the future, and the wish that she made to form the pact was to go back and start over? Does feel like it would be an abuse of the wish. Just to hold out and use your wish when the time comes that you need to change reality. Alright, guess rich friend can't see it. Also, why wouldn't you just wish to get rid of all witches? Or wish to get rid of curses? でも内緒話には便利でしょ。なんか変な感じ。お二人ともさっきからどうしたんです？しきりに目配せしてますけど。いや、これは Just yesterday she said she wanted to be her wife. まさか二人ともすでに目と目で分かり合う間柄ですの？まあ、たった一日でそこまで急接近だなんて。昨日はあの後一体何が。いや、そりゃねえわ、さすがに。確かにいろいろあったんだけどさ。でもいけませんわ、お二方。Oh, don't be that way. This is 2005? I don't know when this came out. バッグ忘れてるよ。今日のひとみちゃん、なんだかさやかちゃんみたいだよ。どういう意味だよ、それは。See what I'm talking about here? Everyone would be looking at everyone all the time. つうかさ、あんた、のこのこ学校までついてきちゃってよかったの？どうして？言ったでしょ？昨日のあいつ、このクラスの転校生だって。あんた命狙われてるんじゃないの？むしろ学校の方が安全だと思うな。マミもいるし。マミさんは3年生だから、クラスちょっと遠いよ。I mean, she'd be able to see you. Glass walls. You should really start talking to your friend more. She seems really off put. What must it look like to everybody else, though? They can't see the thing, so she's just,
持ってるみたい。でもそれなら魔女をやっつける正義の味方なんだよね。それがなんで急にマドカを襲ったりしたわけ？彼女が狙ってたのは僕だよ。新しい魔法少女が生まれることを阻止しようとしてたんだろうね。なんで？同じ敵と
Why?
戦っている
Because you're the bad
仲
guy?
は多い方がいいんじゃないの？それがそうでもないの。むしろ競争になることの方が多いのよね。そんな、どうして？魔女を倒せばそれなりの見返りがあるの。
Another wish?
時と場合によっては手柄の取り合いになってぶつかることもあるのよね。つまりあいつはキューベイがマドカに声かけるって最初から目星をつけてて、それで朝からあんなに絡んできたってわけ？多分そういうことでしょうね。
Okay, your soul egg thing can also transform.
あいつがなんかちょっかい出してきたら私がぶっ飛ばしてやるからさ。マミさんだってついてるんだし。
Also, egg guy in the background.
ともかくとして私がついているんだから大丈夫。安心して。ともかくって言う
His
な。
nickname doesn't even make sense. He's not egg guy. The teacher is egg lady. He just answered a question.
動作を行う人や物を主語にした表現は能動体と呼ばれます。これに対して受動体というのは B は A によってどうこうされるみたいに動作を受ける人や物を主語にした表現なんですね。そういう受動体の形は B 動詞プラス過去分詞となります。例えば He likes me。
Did you guys vote for a show just so I would go back to school?
ねえマドカ、願い事なんか考えた？さやかちゃんは？私も全然。なんだかな、いくらでも思いつくと思
I
うん
mean,
だけ
legit.
どな。欲しい
If
も
you've
の
got a
が
wish in your
いっぱい
back pocket,
あるけどさ、
maybe just hold on to it until, like, an emergency.
かかっちゃうよね。そうまでするほどのもんじゃねえよなーって。意外だな。大抵の子は二つ返事なんだけど。まあきっと私たちがバカなんだよ。
Or smarter than you'd think.
そう、幸せバカ。別に珍しくなんかないはずだよ。命と引き換えにしてでも叶えたい望みって。
Although at the same time, if you do hold on to it in case of an emergency,
大勢いるんじゃない？
a villainous wish giver might create an emergency.
それが見つからない私たちってその程度の不幸しか知らないってことじゃん。恵まれすぎてバカになっちゃってるんだよ。
Is that a sick parent?
私たちなのかな。不公平だと思わない？こういうチャンス本当に欲しいと思っている人は他にいるはずなのにね。さやかちゃん。大丈夫。
I would say, is the roof technically public?
昨日の続きかよ。いいえ、そのつもりはないわ。そいつが要まどかと接触する前にケリをつけたかったけれど、今さらそれも手遅れだし。で、どうするの？あなたも魔法少女になるつもり？私は。あんたにとやかく言われる筋合いはないわよ。
Is she in the telepathic loop as well?
昨日の話、覚えてる？ならいいわ。忠告が無駄にならないよう祈ってる。
I mean, technically, you know it would already, though, if you are from the future.
どんな願い事をして魔法少女になったの？
Oh, she was shouting something in the dream. Was it her wish that brought them back?
ひとみ、ごめん。今日は私らちょっと野暮用があって。あら、内緒事ですの？羨ましいですわ。もうお二人の間に割り込む余地なんてないんですのね。いや、だから違うって、それ。
Yeah, it's hard to think telepathically and talk at the same time, I imagine.
今日もちょっと。
I feel like you would just start saying the things you're thinking. So you can't hold a conversation with your rich friend and talk psychically to all the other people at the same
それじゃあ
time.
魔法少女体験コース第1弾張り切って行ってみましょうか。準備はいい？準備になってるかどうかわからないけど持ってきました。何もないよりはマシかと思って。
Is that a real bat or is that
そう
a
いう覚
cricket
悟で言
bat?
ってくれるのは助かるわ。まどかは何か持ってきた？私は。うわー。
It was creepier that you gave yourself doll eyes.
衣装だけでも考えておこうかと思って。意気込みとしては十分ね。こりゃ参った。あんたには負けるわ。
I mean, I'm pretty sure that we saw that
これが昨日の
in the
魔女
opening.
が残していった魔力の痕跡。基本的に魔女探しは足頼みよ。こうしてソウルジェムが捉える魔女の気配をたどってゆくわけ。意外と地味ですね。光、全然変わらないっすね。取り逃がしてから一晩経っちゃったからね。足跡も薄くなってるわ。あの時すぐ追いかけていたら仕留められたかもしれないけど、あなたたちを放っておいてまで優先することじゃなかったわ。ごめんなさい。いいのよ。
Here's the thing, I put it in my head that Akame is the good guy, possibly, and everything else is the bad guy. So I keep double questioning what Tomei's goals are here. I mean, she even introduced the fact that magic girls will fight one another. This is our teacher? No, different character. Also German? Now they have to be translated for next notes. Oh, that is interesting. Sorry, I didn't put this in the notes before, but on one of the buildings was the name of a German fashion company. I didn't think anything of it. Now we have other German text.
それから病院とかに取り憑かれると最悪よ。ただでさえ弱っている人たちから生命力が吸い上げられるから目も当てられないことになる。
Well, I mean, also just don't go to hospitals for
かなり
pretty
強い魔力の
sights.
波動だわ。近いかも。
Okay, but why did she take her shoes
こ
off?
こよ。マミさん、あれ。
So, was she cursed or is she a witch?
魔女の口づけ。
Cursed. Okay, got it.
この人は大丈夫。気を失っているだけ。行くわよ。
God, I don't know. I know some German, but I don't know enough German to be able to read that on like a half second.
今日こそ逃がさないわよ。気休めだけど、これで身を守る程度の役には立つわ。絶対に私のそばを離れないでね。
I mean, if you wanted to keep them safe, wouldn't you just like not take them in with you? Also, they definitely want us to read that German as many times as it's popped up.
どう？怖い？二人とも。
Nothing I could immediately pull from that scene behind them there.
怖いけど、でも頑張って。もうすぐ結界の最深部だ。
Well, there was the shoes again, but that lady survived outside, so... Like I said, acid trip. Like, is that a language? It popped up like it was a title card. I don't know what that was.
戦うんですか。大丈夫。負けるもんですか。下がってて。いつか君が瞳に灯す愛の光が日を越え花火咲く世界の夢確かに一つ
I mean, the magical girl gun motif is pretty cool. Even though I really have no context exactly what we're fighting here.
大丈夫。未来の後輩にあんまり格好悪いとこ見せられないものね。
Is this the result of all the missed shots? Intentional?
惜しかったらね。
I feel like there's a certain Gurren Lagann aspect to this with, like, creation. Right, but where is the witch?
これがグリーフシード。魔女の卵よ。卵。運が良ければ時々魔女が持ち歩いてることがあるの。大丈夫。その状態では安全だよ。むしろ役に立つ貴重な。
Isn't it a bit odd that witches have the same sort of physical manifestation thing as a soul gem, magic girls?
ほら。あ、綺麗になった。ね。これで消耗した私の魔力も元通り。前に話した魔女退治の見返りっていうのがこれ。あと一度くらいは使えるはずよ。あなたにあげるわ。
What, like another wish? Is that what it is? I don't understand what the grief seed does now that it's been replenished.
あなたの獲物よ。あなただけのものにすればいい。そう。それがあなたの答えね。くぅ、やっぱり感じ悪いやつ。仲良く
Oh, calm down.
お互いにそう思えればね。ここはあれ、私はやだ、私なんでそんな、どうしてあんなことを。大丈夫、もう大丈夫です。ちょっと悪い夢を見てただけですよ。
What if she really is the witch?
一見落着って感じかな。
What if the best way to hide from the magical girls that are chasing you down is to pretend to be the witch's victim?
私には難しすぎてすぐには決められないけれど、でも人助けのために頑張るマミさんの姿はとても素敵で、こんな私でもあんな風に誰かの役に立てるとしたら、
Oh, that looks like a scene for Watamote there for a second.
思ってしまうのでした。
I don't know. Again, maybe the conspiracy mind is at play, and I'm just looking at things too much from one angle. But it really seems to me... I don't know. Again, maybe it's the episode 1 stuff that I'm just taking too much of what I think to be true and trying to make it true. Maybe Tame is the hero. Maybe Akame is the anti-hero, and there's just some third party that we have to fight that we haven't met yet. And in the absence of having met a villainous third party, I'm just creating villains for us. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But I still, for some reason, think that Akame is the hero here. And she is playing a mysterious anti-hero persona right now. And in that, we can easily see her as the villain, where she might not be playing one. Like, what if the grief seed being refreshed is actually another wish? And she's like, no, I know this wish thing is bad. I made my wish before to save a friend, and I'm not going to engage in this again. Which is why she then throws it back, and she's like, oh, that's what your answer is.
無理してカッコつけてるだけで怖くても辛くても誰にも相談できないし一人ぼっちで泣いてばかりいいものじゃないわよ魔法少女なんて
That's humongous,
もう
by the
何も
way.
怖くない
The masked guy on the right-hand side is humongous from Mad Max. I don't know why he would be here. But then again, like the acid trip fight scenes, I don't know why anything is happening, really. So, that is just confusing. So, are we going to start, like, pulling enemies out of movies, and those are going to be the next thing to fight? Instead of, again, dandelions with giant mouths and mustaches, or I don't know what that thing that Tomei just fought was. It looks like a creature out of the Amazing Digital Circus. And yes, I know this came first. I'm just comparing it to things I have seen recently. Yeah, I don't know. I think the element that is constantly going to throw me through a loop until the show answers it, and again, this is only like a 12-episode show, so I might ruin things by coming up with stuff that's just not true, trying to anticipate it while the show reaches the climax in its own time. I guess there's also the element, as I said in episode 1, that I'm aware that the show has a twist of some type, and it's a lot darker than it portends to be. But granted, I don't know what the twist really is. I don't know if I said before, because if I did, past me knows more than current me. Because I don't remember what I might have said it was, because I don't know what it is. And I don't know if I guessed what it was. I know there's the element of I don't want her family to die, because her family is just fucking adorable. And her friend group was better before they started ignoring the third party of it. But Akame did say, don't become something that you're not, or you'll lose it all. And we have Madoka now really wanting to do that, which might then mean that she's going to, which is going to set in motion the end of everything. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not opposed to my previous thought about it being a time loop, though. Because if it's a wish, one of them could have wished that none of this ever happened, or, something basic, and none of this ever happening just brings us back to before it all happened. Because, monkey's paw, genie's wish, whatever you want to choose here, wishes are bad. Wishes are bad because you can misconstrue them any way you want. And people with the power to grant wishes, for some reason, in legends and mythology and media, aren't good with it. They want to trick you. So I have to look down on any wish-giving creature, our critter here, because I don't know. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. I guess that's really all my thoughts here, because I think if I keep going, I'm just going to keep backtracking on time loop. Don't trust the critter. What are people's real motivations? Was the dream real, but from a timeline that no longer exists? AKA, did Akame make a wish? Did Madoka make a wish? I don't know. It doesn't seem like, but okay. My last bit, and then we're going to sign off here. I don't think actually Akame made the wish. If I have to guess what Akame was shouting silently towards Madoka, it was probably "Don't do it" or something like to that effect. because Kyobi is saying, make a pact with me, and right after that is when Madoka wakes up. So I would imply that Akame had powers in that dream. Therefore, she already had. Oh, she. See, never mind though. If I'm right about the grief seed being another wish, she could have been making a wish on the grief seed before Madoka could have made the pact, sealing whatever Kyobi is up to. I don't know. I do not know. Again, just like I said with the first episode, I'm going to need another episode, at least, to try and figure it out. And at the very least, I appreciate shows that leave me with enough questions to want to see more, because that is good on the whole solving it, figuring it out front. Like, if it's a bad show with a mystery, that's a bit harder to deal with. But this has so far been an entertaining show with a mystery, thus encouraging me to want to see more and then figure out said mystery. Alright, well, that said though, here we are at the end. I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?